Please leave that be. If you have need of equipment, I am sure Master Verathorn can help you.
Can I ask what's inside?
What is the point? It is none of your business, so please, leave it be.
Kinda curious about it. Not to have it, but I just want to know what's inside.
Underanitation, Grey Warden. My name is Lanaya. I am Zathrian's first, what you might call an apprentice, perhaps. I've been studying under the Keeper all my life. I am a bit curious of the outside world. Do you mind if I ask you a question or two?
If you'd like, go ahead.
I hear the human cities are very large, thousands upon thousands of souls all packed together in their houses. Is that true?
Probably, although in Denerim I don't think we saw thousands of people, but that might be more of a older game can't render thousands of people kind of thing, as opposed to Denerim not actually being packed. Yes, some are larger than the eye can see. Oh, but there is an implication here that she doesn't seem to be able to go outside. Maybe?
How very loud that must be with everyone talking all at once. I try to imagine those of our people living in such a place, surrounded by walls of stone and indifference. It is a difficult thought.
If the elves like the forest, I guess they're very in tune with nature and all that. Well, I wouldn't know anything about that.
No? Have you not seen how the elves live amongst your kind? It is said that one day we will have a land of our own. We Dalish gather the ancient wisdom in preparation for this. When that day comes, all elves, even those who have forgotten, will reclaim their former glory. I have a question, if it's not too impolite to ask. Do your people regret what they did to ours?
She wasn't talking about humans versus elves, she was talking about Dalish elves versus city elves. This reminds me of the conversation we had at the very, very beginning back in High Ever Castle, and I was like to the elf lady in waiting, "Hey, how do you feel about humans?" And she was like, "Whoa, that's a loaded question, I can't really answer that." That's kinda how I feel. Some of us do. Not all humans are the same.
I see. That is difficult for our people to accept. Even if only some were in favor of what was done to us, the rest did nothing to stop it. A poet once wrote of them, before the fall of the Dales. Like dragons they fly, glory upon wings. Like dragons, they savage, fearsome, pretty things. But you don't need me to quote poetry to you. Forgive me. Perhaps you have some questions of your own.
Is that one the third one trying to get her to go away so I can touch the chest? Tell me more about yourself.
I'm hardly anyone special, I assure you. If I seem different from the rest of my clan, it's only because I was born amongst humans.
Oh.
I came to the Dalish at a very young age, but I've always retained my curiosity about the world I came from.
How did you come to the Dalish if you were so young?
My parents were servants to a human merchant whose caravans plied the southern routes. One day, bandits killed him, and my parents both. I was the only survivor, just a young girl, and the bandits took me. I was their servant for several years.
I'm sorry, it must have been terrible.
It was. Though long years of reflection have allowed me to come to terms with it, to put them in perspective. I can only imagine what would have happened had the clan not saved me from them. I owe them my life for that, and more.
I'm pretty sure there was an implication there that she wasn't just a regular housemaid kind of servant. You said that the Dalish rescued you from bandits?
The bandits killed a scout when the clan passed near their camp. When the clan discovered him, Zathrian came looking for his killers. He followed their tracks for almost a month, and when he finally caught up to us, he fell on the bandits like a terror. No one could stop him. I sat there and I watched him attack them in a blur, and I reveled in every blow. When he saw me, the fury in his eyes turned to pity. He took me back to the clan, and I've been here ever since.
Didn't you have family you could have returned to?
It's possible I might have had some, maybe many. Zathrian offered to take me back, but I had no idea where I was from, and I wanted to stay with the man who rescued me. The clan is my family. Any others out there? It's best they believe that little girl died with her parents. For now, the clan is all I need. My old world could not have offered me all this, and the knowledge of a keeper as well. Perhaps one day, when I am keeper, I might inquire out of curiosity. I'm not sure what lies down that road except pain, however.
I don't know very much about the specifics of how elves work yet, but okay, we have city elves, we have Dalish elves. Are all city elves slaves? It doesn't seem like that's the case because we saw that one guy back in the Red Cliff Tavern or pub, the general store, who was the spy for Logain. Which, a spy is not exactly a slave, but I'm not sure what his standing was there, but a spy seems kind of respectable to me. If a city elf wants to just give up the city life, is that okay? Can they just run away and become a Dalish elf? How do the Dalish elf feel about the city elves? I seem to remember maybe contempt. Well, speaking of being keepers, how did you become a keeper?
I am not a keeper. I am Zathrian's first. Though because I was not born into the clan, becoming his first was very difficult. We Dalish have old traditions. The clans come from the ranks of the nobility that once ruled the Dales, you see. The keepers of those old clans have the strongest and purest blood that reaches back to the days of Arlathan. I had to compete against the other candidates for first, to be better than them in everything, simply because I was not of the old blood.
Well, you earned it then. What did Zathrian think of that?
He was proud of me. I've always thought of him as a father in a way, and he could not hide his pleasure when I became his first. The clan has placed great trust in me. One day, I will lead them and be the one who secures our future.
Good. What does a keeper do exactly?
A keeper is, first and foremost, the leader of the clan. He decides where we go and when we shall move. He's also responsible for knowing the clan's ancient lore and passing it on to the others in the clan. Without a keeper, the clan's knowledge is lost forever, so the clan protects him like no other.
What can you tell me about Zathrian?
Nothing that you could not ask Zathrian himself. He is the keeper of this clan and has been for a very long time. He is also a very good man who has lost much. The Dalish are everything to him, and he would do anything to protect them.
Lost much? What has he lost?
He lost his family a very long time ago. I don't know the story, but I understand the circumstances were horrific.
I think we know exactly why the elves are so hostile. For them, humans are a very sore point. Why are the Dalish so hostile?
They have reason. Since the days of Arlathan, my people have been either subjugated or homeless.
What is this Arlathan you mention?
It was our ancestral home, long ago when the humans first came to these lands. We were free then, and immortal. We did not know how to deal with the humans, and in the end, they turned their power against us and destroyed Arlathan. Our ancestors were enslaved, and our culture lost forever.
Elves were immortal then?
They died, but not of an aged body as other races do. Not until the humans came. According to the legends, association with humans caused us to quicken. Our blood sped, and we began to age. So we avoided them naturally. And then we were enslaved by them for 1,000 years. And in so doing, we all were quickened permanently and our immortality destroyed. Or so the old tales say.
This one I'm not very inclined to believe. I feel like this is an old tale written by an elf that doesn't like humans. Especially because the cause of the immortality going away is specifically because of humans? Well, I don't know. But you could get your lifespan back, no?
In time and with seclusion. We Dalish have lengthy lifespans, and they will get longer. Zathrian himself has lived many centuries, though that is unusual even for us.
So there is our confirmation that elves do not have the same kind of lifespan as humans. Does Arlathan still exist?
Not to my knowledge. According to the old tales, the human mages sank Arlathan into the ground, crushing it beneath the rock.
Didn't Arlathan fight back?
The Tevinter Imperium was a force to be reckoned with. It was ruled by mages with powerful blood magic. Though Arlathan fought, they lost.
But the elves were eventually freed, right?
Yes, after a millennium of slavery, Andraste herself freed our people, she who was your maker's chosen.
But you don't worship the Maker.
We worship the creators, as we always have. We give thanks to Andraste for her part in our freedom, but we do not worship her or her god.
Ah, this is the whole Exalted March thing. Yeah. I can see why you resent humans then.
Shemlen, we call them. Quick children. I suppose it takes a certain arrogance to look upon another people as children, no? Perhaps we should be more heedful of our own role in Arlathan's loss. Even so, it was a bitter lesson to learn. One we are not grateful for.
Quick children? Are humans quick? I thought elves would be quicker. Your homeland was called the Dales, I thought.
That was our second homeland. Our first was the great city of Arlathan. The Dales came when they were freed from enslavement. Elves everywhere journeyed hundreds and thousands of miles to the Dales, eager to start their lives anew. They called it the Long Walk. They reached the Dales and made it their own. And one day it was taken from us too, and you wonder why we are hostile.
Is there no way to get on your clan's good side?
It requires an individual to prove he is not the outsider we have come to expect. Your own task to help our clan is certainly a step in the right direction.
Well, sounds good to me. I want to ask something else, and I'm not gonna do that one.
Certainly.
What about this one? Zathran says he needs to see you right away.
He did? Why would he send you to tell me such a thing?
I'm not sure about this one because we just had a conversation about how they want to be shown that the outsider is not who they expect to be, and because I'm pretty sure this is a diversion for us to get to the chest, and if they find out later on that the chest is empty, perhaps I misunderstood him.
I think that's likely.
Okay, I should go.
As you wish. Darth Shirel.
Thank you. I got a lot of information from that. Arlathan Part 1. Before the ages were named or numbered, our people were glorious and eternal and never changing. Like the great oak tree, they were constant in their traditions, strong in their roots, and ever reaching for the sky. They felt no need to rush when life was endless. They worshipped their gods for months at a time. Decisions came after decades of debate, and an introduction could last for years. From time to time, our ancestors would drift into centuries-long slumber, but this was not death. For we know they wandered the Fade in dreams. Oh. They have a concept of the Fade as well, and it's not called a different name. In those ages, our people called all the land Elgar'nan, which in the old language means place of our people. And at the center of the world stood the great city of Arlathan, a place of knowledge and debate, where the best of the ancient elves would go to trade knowledge, greet old friends, and settle disputes that had gone on for millennia. But while our ancestors were caught up in the forever cycle of ages, drifting through life at what we today would consider an intolerable pace, the world outside the lush forests and ancient trees was changing. The humans first arrived from Par Volin to the north, called Shemlen or Quicklings. By the ancients, the humans were pitiful creatures whose lives blinked by in an instant. When they first met the elves, the humans were brash and warlike, quick to anger and quicker to fight, with no patience for the unhurried pace of elven diplomacy. Oh, that's what they mean by quick. Their lifespan. But the humans brought worse things than war with them. Our ancestors proved susceptible to human diseases, and for the first time in history, elves died of natural causes. What's more, those elves who spent time bartering and negotiating with humans found themselves aging, tainted by the humans' brash and impatient lives. Many believed that the ancient gods had judged them unworthy of their long lives and cast them down among the Quicklings. Our ancestors came to look upon the humans as parasites, which I understand is similar to the way humans see our people in the cities. The ancient elves immediately moved to close Elgar'nan off from the humans, for fear that its quickening effect would crumble the civilization. We can probably empirically test for this because we have city elves and Dalish elves, And by this logic here, city elves' lifespans would be a lot shorter than Dalish elves. Not including stuff like war, dying in battle, just counting the people who died naturally. Well, thank you, Lanaya. That was a lot of information. Oh. Who was it that talked about women with bowls again? Was it Zevran back in the Circle Tower? They have women with bowls here too. Oh my gosh. Silaise, the Hearthkeeper, is seen as the sister of Andruel the Huntress. While Andruel loved to run with the creatures of the wild, Silaise preferred to stay by her home tree, occupying herself with gentle arts and song. It is Silaise who gave us fire and taught us how to use it. It is Silaise who showed us how to heal with herbs and with magic, and how to ease the passage of infants into the world. And again, it is Silaise who showed us how to spin the fibers of plants into thread and rope. We owe much to Silaise, and that is why we sing to her when we kindle the fires and when we put them out. That is why we sprinkle our ravels with Silaise's fragrant tree moss and ask that she protect them, and all within. I feel like if we learn more about the elves, sooner or later, we're gonna come across some stuff that is not consistent with what we know from the chantry version of things. Because every culture probably has their own version of events.
Very
Andruel, goddess of the hunt. Hear me, sons and daughters of the people. I am sister of the moon, mother of hares, lady of the hunt, Andruel. Remember my teachings, remember the Tenadal, the way of 3 trees that I have given you. Verasan, the way of the arrow, be swift and silent, strike true, do not waver, and let not your prey suffer. That is my way. Verberasan, the way of the bow. As the sapling bends, so must you. In yielding, find resilience. In pliancy, find strength. That is my way. Adalan, the way of the wood. Receive the gifts of the hunt with mindfulness. Respect the sacrifice of my children. Know that your passing shall nourish them in turn. That is my way. Remember the ways of the hunter, and I shall be with you. This place is big. Oh, I'm level 13 now! Yeah, because I think we got a level up from clicking on the statue just now, but I must have been sitting on another one the whole time. Whoops. Like we mentioned before, I think because we have a limited number of hits compared to someone who hits with a higher rate, probably actually connecting the hit is pretty important for us. So I'll put a whole bunch into dex this time. And this one also makes it more likely for me to dodge as well, which helps with staying alive. My understanding is that Constitution doesn't really do too much. It's like plus 5 HP or something, so I'm still gonna be mainly avoiding that. But, well, I pumped like 5 points into Dexterity just now. Should I, like that? Yeah? Okay. And I was holding off on this. I looked it up finally. We get a skill point as a warrior every 3 levels. This is why this doesn't come up that often. But now that it's come up, I've been waiting for the expert combat training. Yes. I think if I put a point into stealing, then the next time we go back to Denerim, we can get a new quest or something. But because we just left Denerim, I'm not going to do that now. I'll do that the next time, which I guess would be at level 15. Okay. 3 points! My goodness! Yes, because I've been sitting on one the whole time at level 11. Great. Death Blow. Get stamina back. That's good. And then Perfect Striking. Oh, this is so good for connecting the hits. This is so good. I don't care about this one though. Cause if I save myself, chances are my party members are not beefy as me. Cause I'm a warrior, so yeah, I don't feel like this is that helpful. But I do want the ending one. That one would be really nice. Expert combat training, stunning blows. Yes, passive. Each critical hit offers 50% chance to stun the enemy. Yes. But a critical hit, I don't even know what the percentage of that happening is, so maybe that actually doesn't happen that often. Well, do it anyway. Sunder Armor. Aim for a destructive blow at the target's armor. Whittling down their resistances while attacking them. That's good, isn't it? That's good. But compared to this one, two-handed strength. Penalties of powerful swings are reduced. Powerful swings. I don't even use it that often right now, so I'll do Sunder Armor. Okay. Whoa, it's like Christmas! Suddenly got so many points. Fantastic. Hello? Ah. You're, the equipment person.
What are you doing? You've warped the wood completely. Did you leave it out in the rain?
No, Master Verathorn. I think I just used too much heat.
You're not smelting ore like a Durgenlan. This is living wood. It requires patience and delicate hands, not more heat.
My actions bring me sorrow, Master Verathorn.
So they should. Truly the art will be lost to us forever at this rate. Throw away your dead wood and start anew, and I shall speak to our guest. Now then, please forgive my distraction, stranger. Is there something that you need?
What exactly do you make here?
I'm the clan's craftsmaster. It's my responsibility to learn what I can of the ancient elven arts of shaping wood and ore. In truth, we Dalish know little of the art compared to what we once did. And even what we know has taken us many lifetimes to achieve. There is wood that, if treated properly, is as hard as steel but far lighter. It grows only in this forest. Ironbark. The keeper has forbidden us from entering the forest to collect the wood. And this means I cannot make our finest crafts for years to come.
Yeah, okay, I see where this is going. That's a shame. What if I found some ironbark for you?
I would be hesitant to ask it of you, but if you should come across ironbark, I suppose there would be no harm in gathering some. It is blue and very distinctive. You can only harvest the bark which has fallen off the tree from age. Now, if you find some, bring it to me, and I will craft it for you.
That's so specific, we can't chop it off. What kind of item would you make?
I excel in making blades from the ironbark, or perhaps a breastplate. Provided there's enough wood, that is.
Very well. I'll take a look when I'm in the forest.
That would please me. So long as our hunters come first.
I would like to... No. I was told you could supply me with equipment.
Yes, the keeper sent word that you might ask me for such. I took the liberty of assembling some goods that our hunters use. There is a large chest by the Araville where I put everything we could spare. Feel free to sort through it and take whatever you need.
I will take all of it and sell it back to you for money. Is there any other equipment you could spare?
I have nothing left that the clan could spare, but we do have goods that we were going to bring to the Shemlin villages to barter with.
I would like to barter with you.
I am no merchant, but let us trade. Perhaps there's something here which will be of value to you.
Do you have backpacks? That's a hard no. Silver brooch. Oh, I completely forgot about buying gifts and stuff, but I feel like we have so many that probably it's not an issue, but who would like this? Morgan? Maybe, it's jewelry, isn't it? Buy it anyway. Plus 20 nature resistance. Yeah, I'm okay for now. Look at all these elven names. Don't think there's anything we need the Dalish gloves. Might be good for like Liliana or something. Dalish armor. Yeah, actually that might be good for Liliana, but we'll walk around first, because I'm stingy. Oh, we have quite a bit of money now. I didn't even realize. The 15 that we gave away is like nothing. Toxin extract. Didn't we need a quest that it said hand in 15? Don't I have any? I have 6. Oh, okay, well, why don't we just buy a whole bunch here? Let's buy like 9 and call it a day. That okay? It's the same thing, right? Toxin extract? I feel like I should be looking more into these recipe thingies. Greater health poultice. Expert herbalism. Somebody is going to eventually make this for us. Can I say this? Health poultice? Okay, how about we start with this one? Yeah, because I think maybe Liliana is the one who has the ability to do that. But that also means I need flasks and stuff, which I don't think you have. Let's see. Rare ironbark. Thank you.
You need me?
Poison. Oh, wait. Poison making. I'm sorry, no. I'm the one. I have herbalism, but only the first level. Nobody... Morgan has herbalism. At what level? I think she can make a normal one. I just don't have the materials, that's all. Okay, that's good. That's good. We want to craft some lyrium potions too and give it away for that one quest. I'm missing flasks. I need flasks. We can make some treats for Troy, but he's not even here. Yeah, okay. Morgan can do it. Can I just check again? Morgan... It was a skill, right? Actually... Right, she has expert. Hey, if she has expert, then freaking buy the greater recipe too.
What do you wish? I am no merchant, but...
It's right here anyway, right? I'll buy the lesser potions right now, because we're kind of out and it's cheap. Greater health poultice recipe? Sure, why not? Keep it at that for now. There's no flasks here, so I can't make any. I know who has flasks. Back at the party camp. Bodan does. Thank you. Can I have that?
As you wish.
Clan shield. Take it and sell it back to you.
I wonder why the ancient Shemlin didn't study our crafts more when they took our people as slaves. You'd think they would have seen value in it.
Because they took you as slaves, they saw you as inferior, and why would they take the weaponry, the craft of somebody inferior? The long walk. When our people left to winter, we had nothing except the knowledge that, for the first time in countless centuries, we were free. It was Chardon's dream that one day we would have our own homeland, where we could live as we chose. After the long struggle that claimed the lives of many, even Chardon himself, we were granted the Dales. And though the Dales were to the south of the land of Orlais, and a long way off from Tevinter, it mattered little. We were going home, and so we walked. We called our journey the Long Walk, for that was what it was. We walked with what little we had on our backs. Some walked without shoes, for they had none. Whole families, women with infants, the old and the young alike, all of them made their way across the land on foot. And if one of our people could no longer walk, we carried him, or sometimes left him behind. Many perished along the way. Some died of exhaustion, others simply gave up and fell by the wayside. A great number were set upon by human bandits, even though we had few possessions. Along the way, a growing number began to bemoan the decision to leave Tevinter. At least in Tevinter, they said, we had food and water and shelter. What do we have here? Nothing but the open sky and the prospect of the never-ending road ahead. Some turned back toward Tevinter, but most of us continued walking. And the gods rewarded those of us who did not waver by bringing us to the Dales. Our people called the new city Hallam Shirel, the end of the journey, and for a time, it was home. Yeah, their stuff is documented on older scrolls. When they said families, infants, old and young, makes me wonder what's considered old, what's considered young, especially back in the day when elves were immortal. The more I think about it, the more I feel like logistically, does it actually make sense? Because if elves were immortal, then they must have had an extremely large population then. And then, yeah, it just doesn't seem like they would be growing and growing and growing and nobody would ever die. Not by natural causes anyway. So I'm not too convinced by that. These are okay, right? Thank you, thank you.
I see.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, I'm using Morgan right now. I haven't changed her hat for so long because we haven't seen a good hat. I mean, this is a good hat, but it's a heavy helmet. Is that okay? I mean, because this hat doesn't even have any armor. Not that she really is in need of it, I guess, but still. No. Liliana. Yes, this is better. Yes. Fantastic.
Let us be on our way.
Finally, the plus sign is gone after so many episodes. Eldest of the Sun. Oh my goodness. Elgar'nan, god of vengeance. Long ago, when time itself was young, the only things in existence were the sun and the land. The sun, curious about the land, bowed his head close to her body, and Elgar'nan was born in the place where they touched. The sun and the land loved Elgar'nan greatly, for he was beautiful and clever. As a gift to Elgar'nan, the land brought forth great birds and beasts of sky and forest, and all manner of wonderful green things. Elgar'nan loved his mother's gifts and praised them highly, and walked amongst them often. The sun, looking down upon the fruitful land, saw the joy that Elgar'nan took in her works and grew jealous. Out of spite, he shone his face full upon all the creatures the earth had created, and burned them all to ashes. The land cracked and split from bitterness and pain, and cried salt tears for the loss of all she had wrought. The pool of tears cried for the land became the ocean, and the cracks in her body, and the first rivers and streams. Elgar'nan was furious at what his father had done, and vowed vengeance. He lifted himself into the sky, and wrestled the sun, determined to defeat him. They fought for an eternity, and eventually the sun grew weak, while Elgar'nan's rage was unabated. Eventually, Elgar'nan threw the sun down from the sky and buried him in a deep abyss, created by the land's sorrow. With the sun gone, the world was covered in shadow, and all that remained in the sky were the reminders of Elgar'nan's battle with his father, drops of the sun's lifeblood, which twinkled and shimmered in the darkness. I bet the Chantry have their own version about the sun and stuff like that. 'Cause this one isn't even related to the maker. Why do they have that on their car? Is it like a car stopping thing?
Hello. I'm not afraid of you. I'm a great Dalish warrior.
Hello.
Anathara, Grey Warden.
Anathara. Is this way leaving? No. Wind's thing is right here. Yeah, let's go do that. Are you guys guarding?
I trust there are no hard feelings about my questioning of you when you arrived. We Dalish must protect ourselves from trouble at all times.
I thought you were really polite, actually. I understand.
Had we known a Grey Warden was coming, we might have arranged a different reception. But I wish you good fortune with your task. Dareth Shiral.
Dareth Shiral.
Be careful in the camp. We are not used to outsiders walking amongst us, remember.
So you're the Grey Warden who is supposed to save us? I never thought an outsider would ever do anything for us.
I don't know about saving.
So you're the Grey Warden who is supposed to save us? I never thought an outsider would ever do anything for us.
If we had started our Grey Warden character as an elf, would they still be so distrustful of me? Probably, because I think we couldn't choose as a Dalish elf, right? We could only be a city elf. Which, again, I think lends some support to me thinking why... If for some reason I think the Dalish elves don't like the city elves. I don't know if that's true. Oh, I'll read that later. I'll read that later. Landmark tent.
I await your command.
Oh my goodness! It's always Morgan.
So, full of questions, are you?
No, not actually. Hey Morgan, would you like a silver brooch? Would you like a brooch? Wait. Yeah, here it is. No, not myself.
A fine gift. You have my thanks.
There you go, she liked it. Sarrel. Okay, hold up. Wait! If I do Wynn's thing, she has to be here. She has to be here. Liliana? I'm gonna take you out for now, okay?
Of all the...
Sorry.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. I just want to check the tactics on Wynn again really quickly. I wonder if I should be using group healing for this one too, because why not, right? And I don't know if healing solo actually heals more than group healing. This just seems to make sense, because I think that was part of why people were chugging Lyrium potions and all that, so let's try this out. We all good here? We have one more slot too. Actually, if I do healer. Oh, you're missing You're not even making use of the extra slots. I don't even know. Controller, debilitator, supporter. These are pretty detailed. It's pretty minutely detailed. But the behavior is different from the preset. Oh, I can set Liliana to be ranged. And then I guess that would be like... Yeah, and then she would use her bow more and stuff. Does it even matter? Hold on. Behavior. Will not attack when enemies are visible. No, I'll just leave it at default.
We few wanderers greet you, Shemlin. We understand you are venturing into the haunted forest to save our brethren. I suspect your efforts may be in vain. An entire group of our hunters went into the forest to do as you intend, and they have not returned.
The keeper mentioned that.
Then you are very brave to adventure into such a place, even knowing the danger that awaits. Your courage impresses us greatly.
I don't think he's being sarcastic. Is he? I didn't think he was. It looks like he might have been. I must deal with the blight. If I can help you, I will.
Nothing will help us now. Least of all the meddling of an outsider.
You are being most unkind, Cyril. Would you refuse our hunter's help simply because of the hand that offered it?
You shame me, Lethalan. I have allowed my bitterness to cloud my better judgment. Forgive me, Grey Warden. It is most difficult to forget the lessons the Shemlin have taught us. Perhaps I can yet make amends. Stay while I spin a tale for our children. And then I will tell you of the forest if you desire.
They keep talking about how rude the elves are being, but I don't think anybody has been really rude so far. The sarcastic comment might have been the rudest thing we've heard, and that wasn't even that bad. Like, everyone immediately changes their attitude upon called out on it, so it's not like... It's not unchanging, which is great for us. Yes, I'd like that.
Come and join us then, all of you.
I don't think this is Wynn's thing.
Bah! The elf wants to tell stories? Do we truly have time for such drivel?
I imagine an ancient being such as yourself would have many stories to tell,
Indeed. I have 30 years' worth of tales involving pastoral village life and being defecated on by pigeons. Riveting stuff.
And far more than that, I suspect. Now, what say we tell the story of the fall of the Dales? Which of you children knows that best?
I think I do.
Yes? Then come, child. Oh, don't be frightened of the outsiders. Now, where do you suppose such a tale should begin?
When we were slaves?
Yes. Long ago, our people were slaves to an empire the Shemlin had built on the darkest magic. They took away our history and our language and left us nothing. And then that empire fell, and we were freed.
Because Andraste came with her army, and Shartan joined her.
Yes. Andraste, the Shemlin prophet, came out of the south and challenged the Tevinter Imperium. Our ancestor, Shartan, fought at her side. And when the rebellion came to an end, we were given a new homeland in the west, the Dales. We began to rebuild the culture and history we had lost in our years of slavery. We worshipped the creators and made the Dales our home. Perhaps you know what happened next, stranger. Do you know what happened to the Dales?
You started a war with us and lost.
We started the war, did we?
Oh!
And you, child, what do you believe happened to the Dales?
The Shemlin wouldn't let us be.
Indeed. They resented that we would not worship their maker, and they resented our ways because they were so different from their own. The Shemlin nations grew cold towards the Dales. They called us blasphemers and tyrants, and declared war upon us, a great crusade.
I feel like I should just shut up. Not every human felt that way, I'm sure, but it doesn't... It doesn't help when you say it like that. This is like saying not all men, okay? Like, that doesn't help. All of these are not good. not every human felt that way, I'm sure.
And which is worse? The actions of those who believed they were right, or the inaction of those who knew they were wrong? Oh, I am certain we played a part in our downfall. We believed that the Shemlin would not revoke their prophet's gift so lightly. We were wrong. They took our lands, forcing us to abandon our gods and live as beggars in Shemlin cities. But there were those of us who refused to abandon our ways. They emblazoned the symbols of the creators upon their flesh and vowed to keep their ancient lore alive.
That's us. That's the Dalish.
Indeed, child. We chose to wander, homeless, rather than be ruled by the Shemlin. And all our clans wander alone until the day we have a homeland once more.
And we bring the old ways back to our people, because they have forgotten it all.
For we are the Dalish, the keepers of the lost lore.
The walkers of the lonely path.
We are the Elgar'nan, and never again shall we submit. And that is the tale of the Dales, stranger. Thank you for allowing us to tell it to you.
Thank you. I enjoyed it very much. Ooh. What's that last one? Oh god, it sounds... Oh, I'm scared. Are you gonna say something horrible, Welonz? Perhaps you'll allow me to tell a story as well?
Perhaps another time. You are the guest here, and one who may yet prove of great help to our ailing hunters. Now, as I said I would, I can tell you what I know of the Brazilian forest. Do you wish to hear it?
Yes, tell me of the forest.
Our legends say that before the Shemlin came, the Brazilian forest was a place of our ancestors that predated even our oldest homeland. The people of the Imperium came here, and gave the forest its name. If they found traces of our ancestors, we cannot say. If they did, those elves were slain or enslaved. We know only that a great many battles were fought here. These trees grow upon the graves of those who fell, Shemlin and elves both.
And?
So much death in one place tore the veil into the beyond. The Shemlin know the beyond as the Fade, the place of dreams and spirits. When the veil is torn, spirits pass into our world freely. The legends say that one great spirit possessed the wolf that became Witherfang, who passed its curse of rage onto men and created werewolves.
So there are many spirits in the forest?
The forest is said to be haunted. Spirits possess the trees, the wolves, even the bodies of the dead. They yearn for true life, you see.
The Witherfang still exists today?
So Zathrian insists. He says that Witherfang does not age, as the werewolves do. Witherfang is as much spirit as it is beast, and thus it is immortal. Perhaps it cannot even be slain. At the very least, it is old and powerful, much as Zathrian himself.
Old and powerful, huh? Interesting that you would compare the big werewolf baddie to your keeper. Interesting. How many werewolves are there?
No one knows. When the Shemlin lived in these parts, the curse would spread anew to a few of them with each passing year. They would run off into the forest, never to be seen again. Eventually, all the Shemlin left. One assumes the werewolves survive by passing their curse to their offspring. They have had no new blood. Until now, that is.
Have the hunters become werewolves?
It is said that one or two have turned already, though the Keeper denies it. As for the rest, they will either die or turn, unless they are killed out of mercy. I would rather die than become a ravening, soulless beast. Wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would say so. I wonder if the Grey Wardens... Because of the whole Darkspawn taint thing, is there a possibility of some Grey Warden going corrupt and evil? Right now, all we're told is that we have a lessened lifespan, and then we die early. But what if we don't die early? What if we become Darkspawn instead? There were battles in the forest?
Who can say what value the Imperium placed on this land? And how many elves died here, in slavery? Even the barbarians, who came to overthrow the Imperium, fought and died on this soil.
That's all I need to know.
One last warning. The forest is like a thing alive. It changes as it wills, closing paths behind you and opening up new ones. Too many have become lost within, unable to find their way out. Were I you, I would endeavor not to make the forest my enemy.
Got it. For some reason, Shell didn't know how to sit down. He's got a lot to say in this area though, huh? Oh my goodness. Arlathan, Part 2. You ask what happened to Arlathan? Sadly, we do not know. Even those of us who keep the ancient lore have no record of what truly happened. What we have are accounts of the days before the fall, and a fable of the whims of the gods. The human world was changing even as the elves slept. Clans and tribes gave way to a powerful empire called the Winter, which, and for what reason we do not know, moved to conquer Elgar'nan. When they breached the great city of Arlathan, our people, fearful of disease and loss of immortality, chose to flee rather than fight. With magic, demons, and even dragons at their behest, the Winter Imperium marched easily through Arlathan, destroying homes and galleries and amphitheaters that had stood for ages. The Winter Imperium mages can control dragons? Oh. Our people were corralled as slaves, and human contact quickened their veins until every captured elf turned mortal. The elves called to their ancient gods, but there was no answer. As to why the gods didn't answer, our people left only a legend. They say that Fenharel, the Dread Wolf, and the Lord of Tricksters. Dread Wolf, I feel like, isn't that the name of the new game? Or something? Approached the ancient gods of good and evil and proposed a truce. The gods of good would remove themselves to heaven, and the lords of evil would exile themselves to the abyss. Neither group ever again to enter the other's lands, but the gods did not know that Fenharel had planned to betray them, and by the time they realized the Dread Wolf's treachery, they were sealed in their respective realms, never again to interact with a mortal world. It is a fable, to be sure, but those elves who travel the beyond claim that Fenharel still roams a world of dreams, keeping watch over the gods lest they escape from their prisons. Gods betraying people and leaving them to rot. What's new? Which one? Was this one not the... Yeah, I think we need to talk to Cyril again now. We're back.
Is there something you need?
Have you heard of an elf named Naren?
I appreciate you trying to find him, but what are the chances?
Naren the healer?
You know a Naren?
He lives? No, it can't be him. Perhaps it is a common elven name.
No, I know of only one Naren.
Ah, it makes sense. Naren said that he was from the human cities. You are old friends then?
Oh, I don't know about that. Where is he? Is he in the camp?
If you seek a Naren, you must venture into the forest. He prefers to be amidst the trees and the animals.
Thank you all so much.
He really is alive. Okay, thank you. I should go. Wait. What do you know about werewolves?
We know only what Zathrian has told us over the years. I never saw one myself until the attack.
How does one fight them?
The hunters say they have strength and speed far beyond what's ordinary, and are as tough as such beasts come. Like wolves, they hunt in packs so as to combine their strength. But in the end, a blade kills them as surely as it does any other. What you need to fear is their bite. If you're infected, you are done. Though not right away, and not all at once.
They let the injured elf stay here because for the 2 or 3 days, they don't know if they've been infected or not. But I guess by the end of the 3 days, if they start turning, then they kill them. That's horrible. If they are so mindless, how do they ambush you?
Some of us have wondered. The Keeper says they are simply cunning, that any beast can lie in wait. But this seemed more than that. It was planned. These are no simple beasts. Then the real question is why the Keeper would insist that it is not so.
Okay, I am getting the impression that we're not getting the full story here. The Keeper knows more. He's not saying everything. Why would he lie?
I do not believe he would. But even the wisest of men do not always see the truth in front of them, nor do they always wish to.
He might have a good reason for it. Do they have any strange abilities?
As you know, they can shapeshift into wolves, allowing them to hide amidst the true wolves.
Can they shift shape into like humans? When they're a werewolf, it's like a bigger wolf, but then they can also be a normal wolf. But can they be a humanoid? Is there a way to prevent being afflicted by their curse? And don't get bitten.
Other than not to get bitten? Not that I know of.
Well, okay, that's enough for me.
Of course. You wish something else?
No.
Dareth Shirral.
Darth Shirral.